Dan's going to have to be nay,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Oh, I've already started. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Dan.
what do I say again? Hey, Kim and
Hey.
Katie.
Okay, yes.
Do it again. Do it again.
Yeah. Hey, Kim and Katie.
Hey, Nate. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Perfect.
We've got Nay's going to love hearing that he has yet another substitute that's threatening his job, which we were always telling him, well, he has good job security, but still threatening to him.
Well, we can be, instead of rivals, we'll be partners. We'll go by Danae.
Yeah, I was gonna say day. Instead of nay, we've got day.
Day, yeah.
Danae
I like Dan
has
Nay.
a better feel.
Yeah, Danae sounds more like fancy. Yeah.
Nay Dan.
Stop trying to change it, Kim. It's Danae.
No, it's Danae. Danae.
You're like on that show.
Yeah, I know. What show was it? Yeah.
You know Dan. You know how
Danelle or whatever. Yeah.
Don.
I know him and I love him so much. His name is Danelle. Whatever it was.
Dan the man, or let's see.
Yeah.
Something the man, and then she'd be like
Lamon.
Lamon or
Damon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damon. Yes. Instead of
Deman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's Danae.
Danae. No, it's Danae. Danae.
It's Danae.
Okay.
All right. Enough.
Well, we love that.
Well, I'm glad to be on the podcast yet again.
Start us off with our chit chat, Dan.
What's our chit chat?
Well, you've listened to every episode. Well, you know what Nate does.
I heard this old poem once.
So do you have
it goes, one bright day in the middle of the night, two dead boys got up to fight. Back to back, they faced each other, drew their knives, and shot each other. Do you know the poem? Does anybody know that poem?
No.
No, but profound. It's just as inspiring as Nay's quotes.
Yeah. That's what I was going for.
What is it from?
Yeah. It's an old poem that kids used to say, and everybody I say it to has no idea about it.
Yeah. Must have been a Virginia thing.
That's what we're deciding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it falls right in line with what Nay shovels out to us.
Exactly. Well, guess what I'm thinking? Nay is going to be listening to this, and then he's going to be like, I got to write that one down.
Yeah,
he'll put it one for my
there's more to it.
Yeah, that's right.
After it says they drew their swords and shot each other, and then it says a deaf policeman heard the noise and came and killed the two dead boys. If you don't believe this lie is true, ask the blind man. He saw it too.
Oh,
that's pretty clever. Nate, did you get that all? Did you write it all down?
You better get it.
That's food for thought right there.
Yeah.
Well, any updates, current events?
Well,
what do you have for us, Kim?
I have it's not an update or anything, but Nay and Lisa were in town last week.
Yes.
And we had dinner at our house on Sunday, and it was Nay and Lisa's last night. And guess what Nay made?
Let me think. Poutine.
No, poutine. But
poutine.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. Dang, I should have said, will you please make poutine?
Let me think.
He made something you'll never guess.
Oh, okay. All right, tell us.
Ever. Okay. You love deviled eggs, Katie. I don't know anyone who loves them more than you.
Uh-huh, that's correct.
These deviled eggs were deep fried deviled eggs.
Oh,
wow.
He had battered them and then deep fried them.
Wow, that's interesting. What was it like?
They were very interesting.
Okay, that's the answer right there.
But this is, it was good. But this is what was so funny that cracked me up. So I made a bunch of chicken nuggets. You know those just bare chicken nuggets?
Oh, yeah.
That are
good.
Like, yeah. Okay.
Like
so I made a huge
Chick-fil-A.
amount of those. And then Nay made his what did I just call him?
Fried deviled eggs.
Deep fried deviled eggs.
Fried
Fried
deviled eggs,
eggs.
yes.
Yeah.
And then he had a bunch of batter left over, so he made just a bunch of clumps of deep fried, whatever the deep fry batter was.
Oh.
So, and he stuck it right next to the chicken nuggets, which looked very similar. But I had to tell everyone that this is the vegetarian version of the chicken nuggets,
That's good.
and this is real chicken nuggets. So, but anyway, it's just it just makes me love Nay, because it's like
his ways.
Nay. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I'm in the mood to get a fried daddy
things. Yeah.
and start battering everything and deep frying.
That'll be our next hobby. We'll get all the recipes, all the state fair recipes, and try them. That would be really
so
fun. Twinkies.
Yeah, good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would
The
love
fried
it.
daddy. Okay, well, good. We'll get Nay to get going on that. Nay will lead that charge.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Well, that's fun.
Anyways,
good old Nay. Yep.
Yeah.
And good old Dan Nay.
The Nay.
for being with us tonight. Okay, our listeners probably realize by now that we didn't do an episode last week. We had some scheduling issues, and we just were like, forget it. Let's go next week.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, we wished we'd had this episode during last week. But I think it's soon enough, so we're going to charge ahead. And so the latest current event as of last week were the Olympics. And I thought it'd be fun. Well, Kim, do you have any highlights that you saw? Did you watch any of it?
Yeah, I watched a lot. Guess what? I mean, this isn't even a highlight. Well, there's lots of stuff that happened, but my favorite thing that happened was was hockey.
Yes.
And the American one, the guys
The women.
and the girls,
Yeah.
the women's, and they each were handed these bears, these like the mascot,
The mascot, yeah. I can't
the
remember what they
Canadians
are.
team, and
Yeah.
I can't remember what they are, but their faces, the Canadian faces, when they're handed these dumb, well, I shouldn't say dumb, but these little teddy mascot stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Stupid Olympic things.
Yes, exactly. That actually was one of my. I couldn't stop. I kept watching reel after reel. If you haven't watched it, you got to watch their
I'll
faces
watch
getting
it.
handed these
bears.
mascots. It's
How cute.
hilarious.
Well, what I
But
can't stop
anyway.
watching or seeing is that the men's hockey player that made the winning goal, and he's smiling and his teeth are knocked out.
Yeah, that's true.
And it happened during the game.
Yeah, it got hit.
Yeah, and he was just smiling away with his little kid smile.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Proud of it.
Yeah.
It's like a badge of honor.
Anyway, watching the Olympics, I had totally forgotten about this story of Dan's, and that's why we have him on today. Years ago, he had tried the bobsled, and ever since he tried that and had that experience, I have way more appreciation for the bobsled than I ever have after Dan had this experience. And I heard him talking about it a few days ago, and I was like, wait a minute, that would be so fun to hear about on the podcast. So we've invited Dan tonight, my husband Dan, for those newcomers, and to tell the story, your big bobsled story. I'm going to start the story off, Dan, and then you can take it, because it started with me. And I was watching the news one morning. You were at work, and they said on the news, the local news, if anybody wants to try out for being on the U.S. bobsled team, come to the track today at whatever time. It was like 11 or something. And so I was like, oh, I should tell Dan to go out there and try. So I called you up. You were at work, so you were like, I guess you were pretty interested, or did you do it because I suggested it? I can't remember.
Oh, half and half. I was curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, as one would be when they have no clue what it entails.
It's like,
I thought,
anyone can do
Dan will be
this?
perfect. He's so fast. He's so athletic. I was like, I bet he'll make the U.S. team, So anyway, you took off work early and headed down there to the tryouts, and then you take it from there.
Okay. Yeah, like the details are even kind of cloudy to me because it's been so long ago, but
Yeah, what year do
I
you
went
think
out
it
to
was?
Kearns. It was '05.
Oh five.
It
Okay,
was it was early in '05,
Yeah.
and
20 years
um
ago.
probably January or February of '05, and I got out there. It was at the Olympic Oval in Kearns,
Hmm.
and there was a coach, and he had some tape, marked out for like 100-yard dash, and there were a couple of guys there already, probably three of us when I got there, and he had us do a few things and was clocking our speed and got our height and weight. One of the guys there was this 6'5", just total athlete, and I was faster than him. Was the only advantage that I had, but he was really strong. Um, the way that it works with bobsledding is the two riders in the two man, the the brakeman and the driver and the sled has to equal like 800 pounds or like something around that. And so if the driver and the brakeman are heavier guys but still very athletic, the sled can weigh less, which makes it easier to
Mm.
push off the line. It makes it easier to steer. So um, that guy had an advantage, I thought. And after we ran a 100-yard dash and a 50-yard dash, and they wanted to see how explosive off the line we were, but also they wanted to see our top speed. And I was very explosive, and my top speed was about equal to that guy. The coach was like, "Yeah," he's like, "Man," he's like, "You're really explosive. I like that, but you're just not tall enough and heavy enough. Like you need to be like a few inches taller and like 20 pounds heavier, but still the same speed and same explosivity." So I left. Well, let's see. So I kind of was like, well, thanks for letting me try it. He goes, why don't you come back in a few months? Why don't you go work on, if you can improve your time and get a little heavier, um, come back and try out again. So I thought, well, okay, let's do this. Cause he seemed pretty interested. So I spent the next 5 or 6 months, I would go before work, I'd go to the field house at the U, and Katie, your dad bought me those those
Protein
protein
drinks.
shakes, and
Yeah.
so I took it serious, and I was working out every day. And after five or
He
six
was
months,
you were eating
it,
whatever
the
you wanted. You were
oh
like
yeah,
pounding donuts and
oh
you
yeah,
know
I was trying to put on weight. I was like, and yet I still wanted to be fast, so I was
Well,
running.
yeah, you you
Uh,
couldn't just put on fat. You had to do muscle
muscle.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then I would spend a bunch of time sprinting. Like a track in the field house up there that I would do sprints. And after 5 or 6 months, I want to say it was probably 6 months. Let's just say that. That puts it, you know, toward the end of summer, something like that. I go back down there and I'm like ready to go. And I don't know why I didn't weigh myself or anything. I just went straight down there and at our predetermined time and tried out. And I was the exact same weight and the exact same speed. And he was
What?
like,
The same
he,
weight?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it
Six
was
months
Wow.
of
frustrating. It was like,
Yeah.
he was like, well, I can see you've been working on this, but
yeah. This guy can't gain a pound if he tries. Sign me up. I could have achieved the 20 pounds in six
No
months.
kidding.
what I noticed was I had this little fat patch on the back of my neck from those
Yeah.
protein shakes. That was like the only
That's the
difference.
only
I was
thing.
stronger.
Oh, but I've
I
gained
felt
some weight
stronger,
back
but
here.
I was like,
But he
does this
lost it
account for
somewhere
anything?
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember walking
So
behind Dan and being like, I don't remember this little fat piece at the base of his
it's like these
head.
little rolls when I
Yeah.
would look up. But
That's
anyway, so we
funny.
parted ways. I said thanks. It was fun, whatever, and didn't think another thing of it. And then in November, I got a phone call from these athletes, and they said we're on our way to Utah. We're just leaving Lake Placid training facility, and we'll be there on Saturday. He said, "Yeah, coach gave us your number. Said you'd be interested in being a brakeman in a two-man bobsled." And I was like, "Oh, there's probably been a mistake. He turned me down because I couldn't. I'm too light. Um, and I've never done it before. So they said, well, we're really in a bad way. Our brakeman injured his shoulder.
Mm.
And this weekend we have a World Cup qualifier. And so they talked me, they kind of just said, we'll train you. Like, we just need a guy that is interested in doing this. And coach had high things to say about you. And I said, well, keep in mind, again, I've never touched a bobsled.
Yeah.
So they said, on Saturday this weekend, on Saturday, it was midweek. They called me and they said, come up to the track on Saturday. There's an asphalt track with a sled that's got wheels modified so that you can practice hitting the sled, and you have to kind of practice jumping in the sled. It's timed so that if the driver lands in the sled and you're late, you can't get in under him, and if you get in first, he can't fit in over you. So yeah, it's this choreography where you
Hmm.
jump in the air at the same time and you both kind of jam into the sled at the same time. So we worked on that. We did it a bunch, and
And this was in
after
Park
about,
City on the
yeah,
Olympic track. Yeah. I
just
Okay.
down
mean,
from the Olympic track, but
down, yeah.
part of the whole facility.
Hmm.
And they after 2 hours of going through um these exercises, they said, come back up here tonight at 9 o'clock. We're gonna race. And I was like, all right, great, sounds good. So I came back up there, and when I got there, I get looking around, and there's Austria, and there's USA 1 and USA 3, and he throws me a uniform that says USA 2 with a helmet and everything. And the Jamaican bobsled team was there. They had their, and it was just like it looked just like the one on Cool
Yeah.
Runnings, but it was a 2-man instead
Cool.
of the 4-man. And they
I
give
just
me the
I just remember
uniform.
you saying like, "What am I
I'm like,
doing?"
what is going on? I thought this was just like just like a race. It was way bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they give me a burn vest to put on underneath the uniform, and I'm thinking, what? Aren't we on ice? But they explained that if the sled flips over, you've got
Yeah.
800 pounds riding on your helmet and your shoulder until you get to the bottom, and you will burn. So yeah, it was just this whole thing. And then ice pick shoes. You're wearing this whole get up, and they give you this helmet that when you put it on, it's like boom, and you can't even hear each other speak. So it's serious business, and I'm getting nervous, and I'm sitting there like, I don't I'm having like serious like doubt that that they've picked the right guy. But so we waited for our turn, and we load this heavy old sled over there, and the sled looks amazing from the outside. It's all sleek. On the inside, it's bare metal and rebar welded in a curve so that you can hold yourself in. And the first run, you get the best of 3 runs. So your best time of three runs that night. And there was about 6 other teams. And like I said, I had no idea it was like other countries going to be involved in this. But our first run was terrible. It was a disaster. You're supposed to hit the sled at exactly the same time, and then, obviously stay right in sync with each other. We hit the sled, I hit it late. And so the driver was expecting my hit to kind of nudge the sled the same time as his. And what it
Now
did was
wait,
it sent
Dan,
him, yeah,
pause. Are you the very back person getting in, or you're the
it's
middle?
it's only two. It's only two guys.
Oh, it's only two.
So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
on this one. So it's the driver and the brakeman.
Right. So you're the back.
So I'm the
Uh-huh.
back guy. And the
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
driver has that little lever that's flopped out. He hits that
Mm-hmm.
bar, and then when he
Right.
jumps,
Okay.
he flops it in while he
Yeah.
jumps in.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, he
Got
hit
it.
the bar and didn't have my impact, and so he like nearly flopped over the bar, like,
Oh.
and then he caught his composure, and we out of sync, just like pushed this sled down the track, and then we launched in, and we both got in okay. Uh, but even at that, you're going downhill, and our first run, we probably hit the first turn maybe 65 to 68 miles an hour. And you hit this
And
turn, and
that's
it's
slow,
180
right? Or
degrees. Well, slow in terms of what you want to be,
right. Okay.
but but
Okay.
but in terms of going one direction at 68 miles an hour and then instantly without hardly
Yeah.
any braking, making a 90-degree or 180
Turn.
degree turn and coming straight back up the hill. I went from being trying to force myself down to be aerodynamic. We hit that first turn. The air came out of my lungs violently, and my face was bouncing off the metal floor between my knees, and I was fighting to keep from like breaking in half.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most violent sport I've ever participated in, hands down, by a long shot in my life. And there's 13 turns. So you get through these 13 turns, and it's the responsibility of the brakeman to be right on the brakes as soon as you get out of turn 13. But if
Mm-hmm.
you hit them too soon, you'll rip up turn 13 and ruin it for the other teams. The park will eject you and fine you for damaging
Oh my
the
gosh.
track. And so it's important not to get on it too soon. But then if you hesitate, you don't have enough time to stop at the checkpoint. And sleds that go out of control, there's a concrete loop that the sled can enter, and it just loops around. So it's a safety measure. But what that does is the cement will rip up the runners of the sled. Now the driver owns the sled, and it's like I want to say he said the sled was about 40,000 to buy, and the
Hmm.
runners are thousands of dollars. The runners are the most expensive component, and if you go on the concrete, it rips them up. So either way,
Mm-hmm.
you're out of the races. You've damaged either the track or the sled. So it's a ton of pressure. And after turn 3 or 4, I'm in a daze. I have no idea. Like I'm fighting for my
Was
life.
that 13?
I
Was
can't
that 10?
remember. I couldn't even remember. But I was trying hard to keep track. Anyway, we came out of turn 13, and I felt pretty sure that it was turn 13, but I hesitated. And so, just as I'm in the thought process of should I hit the brakes, the driver headbutted me, like
Oh.
get on the brakes. So I grab this lever. It's this rudimentary steel bar, and I pull it
Mhm.
up, and we're not stopping. We're like it's like it literally feels like being on a train and dragging a stick to try to slow the train down. I'm
Mm.
pulling it as hard as I could, and there goes the checkpoint, and here comes the concrete. And so I just used all my might and I pulled that thing, and I literally stopped us like 2 inches from the concrete. So everything was okay. But we get out, and the driver gives me this steering look like that can't ever happen again. We've got two more
Is he
runs.
like,
you're
are you even sure you should be doing this?
you're like, no.
And I'm like, I tried to
Oh,
tell you.
I know.
So
Well, right, Dan, really quick, I have a question. So, anyone else that's doing this, do they already have the track memorized so you can kind of
oh yeah,
know,
you've
like,
got these, and I
turn?
okay. In preparation for our run, I'm looking around at other drivers, and they're sitting there in their, their eyes are closed, and they're bobbing and looking around, and I'm sitting
Yeah,
there, give me a come off it, you guys, thinking they're taking it too serious, but they're not. Like they're like it's serious
yeah,
business. So they're
right. That would
memorizing
make sense.
every turn.
And I remember you saying that the G force folding you in half was so extreme that
It was
you were could not unfold even a little bit. Like your helmet was
I
banging
couldn't
against the
I
bottom.
couldn't get my breath as soon as we came out of a turn. I was trying to recover, and then we'd go into another
Yeah,
turn. And each
right.
turn, like I said, there's so much force that it was like the air was coming so forcefully out of my body that it was activating my vocal cords, and I was literally against my own will yelling as the air came out on every turn, like screaming like a baby,
Yeah. That's so
so
funny.
um
And it was like I remember you saying it was like a trash can inside there. Like there was no padding,
well yeah,
no
it's
nothing.
Right.
like
Yeah.
Everything is
yeah,
just so rudimentary
very
and
rudimentary. And those helmets,
metal.
like I said, you couldn't hear each other speak, but it was loud. It was loud as can be. It felt like being in a metal box being dropped off of the Grand Canyon. It
Yeah.
was just like violent, loud. They did say that um, they said one final word of advice: if you don't think that this sled can fly off of that track, you better go home right now because it can happen.
Hmm.
And if that happens, you might probably not survive that. Um,
Yeah.
they did say if it flips over, you have to ride on one shoulder in your helmet until your shoulder starts to burn, and then you try to switch over to the other shoulder, and you have to just wait till it comes to a stop at the bottom. Which, anyway, so when you're upside down, there's no brakes. You are the brakes, your head and your shoulder. But anyway,
Right.
we get to that 2 inches from that cement, and then the sled starts to coast backwards, and he's like, hit the brakes. So I so I hit it again, and then we had to get out, and there's nobody there to help you. The two of you pick the sled up, walk it over to a flatbed truck, and then ride up to the top. Like there's no, there's I don't know. Anyway, there's no help. It's this heavy sled. So we get it on the back of the truck, and there's this news crew on the back of the truck wanting to interview the athletes. So they're interviewing the driver, and he's like, "Yeah, this first run was rough. We're gonna give it a go again." And they asked about his brake man, and he goes, "Oh yeah, no, that's his first time." And he tried to kind of brush it off, and they said, "Oh, first time in Utah." He goes, "No, no, it's the first time in a sled." And they
You're
looked at me
sitting
with
there.
this mix of like, you poor soul, and you idiot, and are you supposed to be doing this? And they saw the run, so they're like,
That's probably why
pretty
they asked about
doubtful.
your brake
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Tell us about this brake man of yours.
Yeah.
And they could see the expression on my face, I'm sure. But anyway, we got to the top and waited for the cycle of teams to do their run, and then it was up to us again. We loaded the sled on the top of the track. It has these grooves where the sled sits, and the grooves disappear around about the time where you jump in, and because then the driver's kind of steering it. But
Yeah.
I said to myself, I haven't come this far. I haven't done all this stuff to have that first run be the outcome. So I thought of everything that I was trained, and I mustered up all my strength, and we had this signal that we worked out, and I can't remember what it was, but it was a count, and we hit the sled absolutely at the same time, and it was perfect. And then we're sprinting down, and the top of the track, eventually your sprint distance, and you can do it as long as you want, but bear in mind there's a dome, there's a tunnel that the sled enters. You have to be in the sled before that goes, because it clears the top of the sled by like 6 inches at best.
Oh, yeah.
So we're bolting, and the driver knew that we had a good start. I felt like we had a good start, but I'm waiting for him to jump, and I can't jump until he jumps. I have to wait till I see his body rise into the air, and then I leap into the air, and then we both go in the sled at the same time. But he's not getting in, and there comes the tunnel, and I'm sitting here like, if he waits any longer, I'm gonna let this thing go because I'm not getting decapitated.
Yeah, no
And just when
kidding.
I'm at the moment when I'm debating, do I let this sled go and then he's got no brakes,
Mm-mm.
or what? And he
Yeah.
jumps into the air, and so I'm like, here we go. So I jump into the air. We hit the sled, same time, launch in, duck down. There goes the tunnel, and we're on. We're flying. We were doing. I think they clocked us at 78 on that run, miles per hour.
So a lot faster.
We hit the first turn. We he nailed every turn. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. As the driver, you don't want to go too high on the bank because gravity will pull you back down, and that slows you down. If you're too low, centripetal force will force you up the wall, and that slows the sled. So you want to hit a perfect line on every turn, and he did. And then we came out of turn 13, and I got right on the brakes. It was basically the perfect run. In fact, we were faster than Austria and three other countries, and we also beat USA 3. Our time was better than theirs. In fact, they mentioned that our time was better than the silver medalists in the Olympics prior. Now,
Wow.
On the
they
same
said don't
track.
get, yeah, on the same track. They said don't get too big headed about that. The ice had formed that night in such a way that it was just really fast, faster
Oh,
than during competition in the Olympics. And that has to do with atmospheric pressure, how much moisture is in the air, all these factors come into play, but it was really fast ice that night. So our third run, I barely remember it. I was pretty torn up by then. We didn't, there was nothing notable, but by the end of the night, I remember hardly thinking about the drive home. I remember making my way down the canyon, and I was just in a daze, and my body hurt. My mind was spinning. I kept looking over in the passenger seat at my folded up USA 2 jumpsuit with the helmet and thinking to myself, I'm never going to put that thing on again. But
Yeah.
they had invited me to go in 2 weeks with them because we qualified to the World Cup competition in Calgary was where that was going to be. And they said,
Hmm.
we'll pay your way, we'll pay all your food. We can't really pay you much on top of that, but
Yeah, but
you did
still.
well. Stick with us. Let's do this. And so I told him yes, and then drove home. And on the way home, I was like, I'm not, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. So I walked in the door.
Well, it's funny because I was so excited while you were gone because I was like, "Holy cow, he's up there bobsledding!" And then you came home, so I had opened the door to like greet you, and your face was so pale, and your demeanor was just like so
You know,
not what I
Yeah.
I just
expected.
got beat up.
Yeah,
Oh, I was,
and he
yeah.
said right away, he's like, "I will never do that again." And I was just like, really? Like it was because Dan's
What's the
pretty
big deal?
tough. Yeah. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is not what I expected. And then you're like,
Yeah.
all with disgust, you're like, and look at this over at the car. And there was your uniform. And you're like, they even gave me a uniform. Like you were so like, I don't even want to touch that thing again.
Oh
Really?
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I was in a bad way, and it took me weeks to recover. I
Shake it
felt like
off. Yeah.
um
It rattled you like I've never seen you rattled. Like it
my
was
lower
like,
back was really, I felt like injured, you know.
but I mean, mentally rattled.
Oh yeah.
Mentally
Yeah, it
rattled.
was
You were like angry because it was so scary. And you're
Well,
like,
probably because
I
physically demanding.
yeah. Well, and he
well, it
said,
was,
I feel like I was like my life was at risk. Like that's
yeah.
how scary it was to go down.
Yeah.
You had
Oh, yeah.
said
I
like
can't even
I
imagine.
know I was okay, but it felt like if I do that again, I might die.
Hmm.
It was rough.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the fear of getting your butt kicked. I had my butt kicked all night long up there. Just beat down. And so anyway, the next morning was Sunday morning, and I called those guys up. I said thanks a lot. I'm gonna drive up and drop off the gear. I can't go with you guys. And you know, it's funny because their reaction, I was expecting disappointment, but it's almost like they were like, you know, they were
Yeah.
kind of expecting like me to come to my senses.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
they're
and
like,
it probably happens. It's not your average Joe that can handle that.
no, these guys were animals. They were, and they were bulky, beastly guys. Like I remember thinking, what's the big deal? You just jump in a sled, you know, you just
Ride
go
Yeah.
down a
down.
hill on a sled, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the compartment, realized later too that these guys were very hulky and broad-shouldered, and they were the the space inside the sled. If you're not big, you're getting slammed around in there because you need to
Yeah.
be bulky to fill up the space, and then it kind of locks you in place. But I was flopping around in there, just like getting just battered to death. And
Well, so the driver, your driver,
yeah,
did he know the track? Was he,
yeah,
because
he
I've read
did.
bobsled teams, they get the track, they know
Yeah.
the track so they can know
Hmm.
when to, that's why they're not sitting there like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're still getting
They
rattled, but they're
anticipate where it
going,
is, but yeah.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But this driver was 6'4", 6'5", pretty big kid. I wouldn't say he was super athletic. He was what he had that some of the other teams, like he was well known for his driving ability.
Mm,
So yeah, I mean, plenty athletic, but like um he was really just a really good driver. But also his body was big enough that he just filled up the space in there
yeah,
better. So
Mm-hmm.
right.
I'm back there with
Yeah.
my little scrawny body, just like, you know, just
Oh,
flying
hanging
around.
around.
never done it before. I just can imagine sitting there like, I'm just thinking me on a roller coaster. And I mean, that's not even the same. But I've been
Yeah.
on, you're going
Oh
like
yeah, you're
getting thrown around. That's like,
jostled
ow.
around. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The driver, I think, can look up at certain points, but like you want to stay below the top profile of the sled so that you have the most
Mhm.
aerodynamics possible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So really they are kind of steering by memory and they have to really
Yeah.
know the
Yeah.
track.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so
I don't
Dan
know.
would have been in the Olympics if you had if
If I just could
you
have bucked up and
yeah.
stuck
I
with it.
know.
Because I was like, this is your chance, Dan. You're going to be in the Olympics, but no way. You were just like, it's not
No,
worth it.
that wasn't for
Yeah,
No,
me.
yeah.
I'm picturing Dan should have done the two men luge
Luge.
where you just lay down and the heavy guy lays on top of you.
Yeah.
You have no choice. Like
And then
Seinfeld
you
said,
just lay
it's
there.
the only Olympic sport where guys can compete against their will. You just
Yeah.
throw him in. He's not a bobsled. It's just Bob. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
You are the bobsled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was an experience. I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't change that I did do it, but yeah, it was the craziest thing I think I've ever done
Well,
willingly.
and you're young enough to take the hits, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Imagine doing it
Yeah,
now at your age,
Oh
taking
gosh.
like,
I think
you know,
I was 31. So
yeah, young.
Yeah.
I felt like that was about the prime of my life, but
Yeah.
At the time, I remember thinking like, I have never seen Dan so rocked by something. And I had always felt like you could handle anything physically. Like you were such a crazy skater and biker and, like really brave. I had no anticipation that this would be what it was because I was just like so confident in you. But it was like you could have handled the physical. I feel like at the time, this is what I thought. You could have handled the physical, but the mental stuff like was so like you were not used to being so out of control like
oh yeah,
like
I don't love the feeling of not being in control.
No.
yeah.
And then to that extreme degree was yeah, it was
Yeah.
troubling.
And I remember you just kept saying like I really felt like I was like am I going to die? And it wasn't like realistic. You of course weren't going to die, but that was how you felt like you were just kind of like this is so extreme that I might lose my life. And I remember you talking about folding in half. It was
Hmm.
like you couldn't breathe and it was more force than you could fight against. And that was a feeling you had never had before, like to
Yeah,
where you were in the mercy of the G forces. And it was just,
Yeah.
for sure.
Ew.
yeah.
And they came,
Hmm.
the turns were so close together that you couldn't recover between each.
Yeah. No time to
Yeah.
recover.
Anyway, it's a fun story. And from then on, I watched bobsledding in the Olympics in a whole new light.
It's a whole different
'Cause-
thing.
Yeah.
Because
For
I used
sure.
to think, especially the 4-man one, I used to think, well,
Oh,
what are the
yeah.
two in the middle doing? They're not the brakeman or the, or the front guy, the steering guy. And I
They're
thought,
there
well,
to push that thing as hard as they possibly
yeah,
can,
and
and
they're
then
they're tough,
yeah,
even if they're not doing those jobs. And I do
yeah.
remember you saying like, okay, I pulled on that brake and it was like a stick, like I was trying to stop a
Like it's
train with a
crazy to
stick.
think I can do this, and you pull on it, and your adrenaline's pumping, and you pull it with what you feel like is all your might, and you feel zero slowage, and
Yeah.
there goes the checkpoint with the people looking at you like, what are you doing? You got to stop here, and flying past it. And so yeah, again, I felt like I grabbed it with both arms. It's on the right side, and you can grab it and pull it. And I reached over with my left arm and put both on, and man,
I
it,
can
it was. I thought, okay, come up with better brakes for this
have a
thing.
little
Build this
padding.
thing.
If it's
Why
so
don't you put a
expensive.
little padding in this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Then
This-
I'll reconsider.
Yeah. It seemed like what you sat on was just like a metal bar. It wasn't even a seat
Well,
or anything.
the driver has a seat. You don't have a seat as the brakeman, as I recall, because you kind of wedge up underneath his seat with your feet. Like your
Mm.
feet kind of
Like
jam
you're
up
just
under there,
sliding in there.
and you just land on the floor of the sled. So
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
so at that point, when we were hitting those turns, my buns were on the metal, the same plane of metal that my face was then smashing off of, going around. It
Yeah.
looks smooth. The track looks smooth, but there's expansion joints all through the turns, and it's just bam, 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 around every turn. It's like the most violent, like it literally feels like you're going off of a pyramid. Just like it was so loud and so much extreme force and forces in all directions and just ultra violent um, sound and feel. I've never experienced anything like it before or since, like not
Yeah.
nowhere near.
Hmm.
And I like to think, I was always pretty extreme. I was always jumping off of houses and doing the crazy stuff on the skateboard, and just I was always like kind of a thrill seeker in that way. But you get this feeling of like, this is way beyond anything that I bargained for. They didn't spend much time saying, no, you're going to get your butt kicked. Like,
Yeah.
just so you know. So I helped them qualify for the World Cup competition. That the next step from then would be the Olympics.
Yeah. Right.
So anyway, that's the story.
Well, I love it, Dan, and thanks for sharing that great
Yeah,
memory. It's a good one to
Yeah.
share.
That was fun.
Hmm.
I'm glad to talk about it again.
Okay, Danae.
Okay, Dan Nay,
Well,
lead us out.
well, let's see. I got more moles on my neck than pennies for a peck. I'm just trying to come up with something. Nay,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's good.
Uh, till next time, we've laughed. That's it, right?
Yeah,
And
that's it. Yep.
it's been
It's
what?
been a slice. Yeah, it's been a
Yep.
slice.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me. Well, till next time.
Yep, thanks, Dan.
This is Danae signing out.
Danae signing out.